He has twice the kills you did at that age. He knows the 7 major arteries, the blind spots, everything. That mind flayer is done for. Forgive me, I was speaking to myself. A habit solitude has encouraged. Galbraith Stredivas, Mind Flayer Hunter. My son is tracking one of the beasts as we speak. No. The more minds for an illithid to feast on, the greater the risk. As I know too well. I tried to save another, and wound up retired. Permanently. My son has taken up the mantle. He fights tooth and nail every single day. I only pray it's enough. That I've done enough. It is rare to meet someone who doesn't fear mind flayers. You remind me of an old friend. A hero of his time. Here. He gifted me this. Call it thanks for setting me at ease. They won't win, you know. The mind flayers. Not with my son fighting the good fight. And you.
Drab attire, lackluster skin. My darling, you need my gems. They'll brighten even a ghoul like yourself. Or, if you are the practical sort, I also stock enchanted stones. They're almost as magical as myself. A skeleton would be more accurate. You have good bones, darling. You just need decoration, and you're in the right place. Darling, we're on this plane but for a blink of the eye. Why not get a little luxurious? Remember, a life without glitter is no life at all. Take care now.
A customer. Come, Docha. You look like someone who knows their way around a lute. Or perhaps you enjoy the drums. Flute? No. Lyre. Oh. Well, no matter. My instruments make the most splendid of gifts. I'm sure you'll find something for even the most contrary of bards. Thank you for coming to my little shop. I hope you have a wondrous day.
Beyond that gate is the upper city, housing the great and the good of Baldur's Gate.
You yearn for a better class of company, Astarion?
Made the right decision.
God,
It keeps the
who
ignorant
can
and
spend
weird.
time with anyone, great or good?
You want a copy of this rag? Gold. Make it quick. Me stupid dad makes me sell these shite rags. Pillock. If you want one, it's gold. Yeah, the best one in town. Also, the only one in town. You want a copy? Gold. The Baldur's Mouth Gazette. When the mouth barks, the fist bites. I forget the real slogan, but you get the idea. Now, buy a copy, or leave. Works great as toilet paper if you run out.
Ah, a surface dweller. You find yourself in the cradle of all knowledge relating to the Underdark. The Society of Brilliance. Tell me, what can the Society do for you? A wonderful research partnership. I'm sure you'll agree. They are upstairs if you wish to share any theories with them. Yes, dear Lady Esther, one of our most reliable contractors. Though unfortunately, this particular request was too much even for her. Once the dust is settled on this whole invading army mess outside the walls, I'll find another contractor. Perhaps they will have more success. Was there anything else? I should really get back to my research. Feel free to explore the lodge. Our knowledge is here for the common good, after all.
My surface-dwelling friend, how long has it been? I am glad to see you well. I see your tadpole remains in its state of suspension. Your case has set us on quite the detour from our planned expedition work. We've thought about very little else. After observing the nature of your tadpole's stasis, we felt it wise to report back to the Society. Omeluum went out into the city to seek out further undeveloped infections like yours. But I have heard nothing since. I admit, I'm somewhat concerned. We are usually sticklers for updating one another on our progress. Omeluum believed the answer to this riddle lay within the city walls, and held some connection to the cult of the Absolute. I had the distinct impression it was intentionally keeping its hypothesis from me, as though even the theory would be enough to put me in danger. Why that would be, I can only theorize myself. It is rather outside my area of expertise. Omeluum is most likely safe and well, and simply absorbed in its work. However, it would put my mind at rest to confirm it if you happen across its path. Naturally, the Underdark provided us with some most unusual salvage. Plenty to keep an inquiring mind busy. Your tadpole's stasis is a most curious area of study. I will have much to share with Omeluum upon its return. Of course, I should get back to my research.
Oi! Stop a moment.
Fine. Come in then. You might as well meet the family.
Move on! Commander might be away, but I keep a tidy house for her.
Oh, Maller's Mark, here we go.
Are we quite sure she hasn't actually died this time, brother? She looks dead.
Smells it too. Ooh.
It has been a hard road. But I can clip you both around the ear to prove I am no ghost. If it would help.
Forgive us, Mother. We're just surprised you still know how to find your way home. She always brings the smartest people home, too.
Enough, Ryan. I taught you better manners than that.
No, you didn't.
A sending spell can carry 25 words. Do you know how many Jaheira's only message contained in all this time she's been away? 7.
If you are trying to help me, please stop.
The message went, I'm sorry, you know what to do.
So why haven't you done it? You were supposed to get the young ones out of the city.
And you were supposed to be dead. That's what your oh-so-stoic message meant, yes? Yet here you are. So, what happened out there?
I got my skin saved by this one. We've come to take the fight to the cult, which is exactly why you all cannot be here.
Why? You plan on winning, don't you? You're the one who saved her, so tell me. Are we all doomed? So fight. That's what all you heroes and harpers are for, isn't it?
You are a very irritating girl.
This isn't your house, remember? You'll keep a civil tongue under our roof if we let you stay at all.
Have mercy, sister. She's old, after all.
So old!
Seems I'm outvoted. See, Mother? That is how you go about talking things through with your family. Now, if there's more to discuss, then bloody well come in. And wipe your boots. No arguing. Just tell me you're well.
I am well.
And Minsk?
We're working on it.
You'll get him back. I owe him a kicking for showing Fig how to throw hatchets. So, this cult. What's our plan?
I'm not fool enough to think I can change your mind. But if you're staying, I don't want you taking up arms. There are other ways to fight.
Really? Like what?
You shame me. In all our hunting, I had put them from my mind.
Right. Leave them to us then. If we can't get them past the checkpoints, we'll at least make sure they're watched over if it comes to fighting in the streets. If I have to stay home and babysit, then it's your job to make sure there's still a home to look after. Take what you need, and we'll do the grand reunion when you come back for good. So, lovely as it is to have you back, Mother. Go away. You have work to do.
Aye, aye, Commander.
So, this cult.
I'm not...
Really? Like what? A fair point. Though I'll leave the herb lore to Jord. I was always better at breaking bones than mending them.
I remember. The very reason George had so many patients to hone his craft on.
If I have to stay home and babysit, then it's your job to make sure there's still a home to look after. Take what you need, and we'll do the grand reunion when you come back for good. So, this...
I'm not full...
Really? Like what?
You shame me. In all our hunting, I had put them from my mind.
Right. Leave them to us then. If I have to take what you...
Aye, aye, Commander. Wait, one more thing. There are doppelgangers on our trail. One even went so far as to steal my face.
Huh. All right then. If you turn up looking for hugs and kisses, I'll be sure to shoot first.
That's my girl.
I take no responsibility for your plants. You know I'm more of a mushroom man.
You've let my study turn into a thicket. Is this what I am hearing?
I tended to it. I just let it thrive in its own independence. You know, same way you raised us.
I raised you to be a sweet and kind boy. What happened?
I watched what you did instead of listening to what you said. This house has taken in a lot of children over the years. Mother dear was sometimes more commander than, well, mother dear.
Wards, family, lifelong irritants. Use whichever term you wish.
We were down the market when I was about 9 years old. Some merchant started in with the usual. Yes, but where's your family? Whose son are you, really? When Mother was done with him, well, let's say he won't have any sons of his own to worry about.
Nature's law in action.
A fine day to you, sir. Are you known to this court? Crude manners, but you speak well enough. For a peasant.
Jessim discovered an old family tree in my study. We haven't had a moment's peace since.
Tetherian nobility. You might be royalty, Jaheira. You don't want to be queen, of course, and Ryan curses too much, so it would have to be me.
Careful, girl. They have a habit of taking against tyrants there.
I'm not a tyrant. If anyone calls me one, I'll have Fig chop their head off. Commander!
Spare me your salutes, little traitor. You walked me right into that ambush.
Sorry, Commander. You are my commander, but George promised me pies.
I can't fault your priorities. You'll look after them for me?
Can I have a real sword?
No.
Fine.
I hope you were hibernating, little cub. I can't think of another reason you wouldn't come down to say hello.
Jaheira! I didn't want to see if you were really dead. They said...
Who said?
Jord and Ryan. They didn't think I could hear.
You little sneak thief? Well, they were wrong. Look! Not dead. I just... had a few adventures. Like, No, cub. He does not mean me. Now, cub. Solitude is a wonderful thing, but not too much. Come downstairs and fight with your sisters.
Wait. Here. I was... keeping this safe.
My Harper pin. Oh, was a certain little sneak thief playing down in my sanctuary?
No.
Harper pin opens more doors than most. Come down to my study and see if you can figure it out. Pay no mind to those. You're probably safe so long as I am here. But if you do not trust me, take the weight from the pressure plate there. Have no fear. The traps aren't meant for you. But, better to stick close, eh? The only patch of wilderness this city permits me. There ought to be supplies here to aid us.
This is a ritual of the timeless body. Jaheira, have you been playing with mortality?
A gift from my husband. I've had to renew parts over the years, but the heart remains the same as the day he gave it to me. Yes? Of course. You're no true Baldurian unless you've sloshed around in the slurry after all. The Undercity is perilous. But I recall Minsk making a home down there in the old days. To plant his boot on the very bosom of evil. Or some such. I'll mark an entrance, I know. From there, we shall just have to follow our noses. The threat of spanking never kept the children from poking through my things. Why should it deter you? It is a ritual, or it describes one at least, practiced by druids of certain esoteric circles. If they be learned and powerful enough, the practitioner of this ritual might slow their aging, extend their life well beyond its natural reach. It is not something you need concern yourself with. I've picked up stranger things in all my travels. Trust me. If you wish. It's, possible I was a little too quick to judge. A little too caught up in ceremony. It is a ritual, or it describes one at least, practiced by druids of certain esoteric circles. If they be learned and powerful enough, the practitioner of this ritual might slow their aging, extend their life well beyond its natural reach. It is not something you need concern yourself with. I've picked up stranger things in all my travels. Trust me. I have given you much reason to think that Harpers hoard secrets like precious stones, but I promise you, this was not some intrigue. Just, plain and simple foolishness. As if by keeping clear of my family, I might keep them clear of the cult in turn. And if this fight were to go against us, well, we had already done their mourning. Why visit it on them twice? No. Quite the opposite, in fact. I hope to greet my family when all the fighting was done. I was wrong to think I could keep my children from this fight. They're Baldurian born and bred. The only damned reason I root myself in this place. This city is a cesspit. An open sewer of the soul that taints us with its filth and churns us out when all that is good has been stripped away. It also happens to be their home. And so it is mine. Ugh. That might be the first time I have said that out loud. Now come. We had best get to saving it. Lest Ryon turn her ire on us both. Ask it. Oh dear. Should I brace myself for some fashion advice? But I suppose you have earned better than glibness from me. It was a gift from my husband Khalid. He was a harper. A better one than me, truth be told. Any idiot can swing a sword, but to believe in the cause with the whole of your heart, a much trickier thing. He died. Alone, in pain, and far too young. Murdered by a mage who craved immortality. I'll not grant it by naming him in the same breath as my husband. I've never known a warrior to go so far out of his way to avoid a fight, which meant the few he chose, most harpers swagger and flash their feathers to catch your attention. Khalid was quiet to a fault. And when we were married, on an upturned cart in the rainy Dalelands, he stammered so much. I've never been sure if our vows actually counted. Oh, I'm sure time and an aging mind has smoothed out a few of his flaws. But he was a good man. The songs make much of Khalid's meekness. The quiet little harper who had to keep a tight hold on his courage, but he had it when it counted. And more than that, he had compassion. When you live a harper's life, see all that a harper sees, that is by far the harder thing to hold on to. But a bard can tell you all the rest. As for all the things they cannot, well, I shall just have to keep those for myself.
Thank you for looking out for her. Now bring her back alive. She's too old for any heroic death nonsense.
You appear to be lost, dear. I specialize in fashion, not potato sacks. A certain level of class is expected by my clientele. So if you wish to stay, I must insist you purchase some less depressing garments. If looks could kill, Lord Gortash would have already hanged me. I wouldn't worry too much. This is undoubtedly some rumor cooked up by my many rivals. Well, I suppose if it's that elaborate a prank, it rules out my sister as the culprit. Carmen can barely organize her own shop. Never mind stage a murder mystery to meddle with me. Very well. I'll take my precautions. Thank you. Make haste. I have a very busy day of very demanding clientele ahead. What do you require? I sell anything and everything needed to cultivate your countenance. The best you'll find in Baldur's Gate. Certainly better than any dreck you'll pick up in Worm's Crossing. Very good, sir. Now remember, fashion's a fickle mistress, so be sure...
The brain. It's here. Stay away from the gate.
That graffiti from before. I never thought I'd see it again. Well, I think I was the one who did it. I can recognize my own handwriting. How long ago was this? Years? All the time I spent training, hidden away from the world. I think I must have wanted to leave my mark somewhere. Just to prove I existed. Even to myself.
Jaheira's family is a credit to her. She's wise to keep them secret. Safe. I was never afforded a chance to start a family of my own.
Serving nature always had to come first.
Jaheira would do anything to see her family safe. They're lucky to have her, and she's lucky to have them.
Githyanki. The word means quite literally Gith's children. But I have never known family the way Jaheira knows it. My so-called cousins are simply spawn hatched from the same clutch. I will never know who laid the egg I hatched from. And until I met Jaheira's family, I never thought to wonder. Well, enough brooding. What did you need?
Hey. I don't know what I was expecting. Something beyond real. My life would have been so different if I ended up working for her instead of Gortash. Looking after these kids. Making a difference. Maybe in the next life.
A natural impulse to try and shield one's loved ones from danger. Especially when you feel a moral compunction to run headfirst towards it. I suspect any child of Jaheira's will share her self-destructive sense of justice. But at least her words give them pause for thought.
You know, I never dreamed our noble Jaheira would be such a terrible, terrible mother. It's nice to see heroes are as awful as the rest of us,
Yes, indeed. If you go any further, the brain will dominate us. We are not ready.
Emperor's warning was clear. Death beyond the gate.
Cazador always warned us to stay clear of the hood. Never says why, though.
The last spawn who tried was sunk into the cobblestones and left for the sun to find. I had an unfortunate taste for theatrics in my youth.
Ah, yes. That was probably it.
Wonderful little beast. Nimble as anything.
A man of means, judging by his attire. He looks like a merchant or a junior council member. But right now he's without care, entranced by a tree.
There was a squirrel in the tree. Marvelous creature. Inquisitive and nut-crazed. Oh, just tired, I suppose. It's been quite a long day. Or at least I think it has. You wouldn't happen to know where I live, would you? I am very pleased to meet your acquaintance. And you are?
This is more than a lapse, you sense. Something's been done to the man's memories.
There must be, you would think. You know, I can swear there is someone, but their name escapes me. Hells, even their face escapes me. A figment of my imagination, perhaps. Oh, it will come back to me. Or not. I'm content enough here, in either case. Well, I remember I was sad. But in truth, I'm not quite sure what caused it. I'm not even sure I know what sad is anymore. And I came from that building over there. They were very nice to me. Seemed very helpful. Although, for the life of me, I can't recall what I was doing there in the first place.
Jaheira's adept at keeping secrets, and for good reason. She was wise to try and keep her family safe. I just wish I could have done the same. All right, some company wouldn't hurt on the road, especially if there's trouble. All's well, I hope, aside from the obvious. Fine. What's on your mind? How are you holding up? Don't be so modest. I can't remember.
Welcome to the House of Grief. Or perhaps welcome is the wrong word, Shadowheart. There's been some debate whether you'd even show up and face the consequences of your actions. I assumed you tried to flee, like a craven.
Spare me your venom. I'm sure the Mother Superior will have plenty of her own.
All in due time. This is a place of healing. Anyone who partook in our methods did so willingly, and left with a smile on their face, freed from their troubles. Would you accuse a surgeon of robbing a tumor? I think not. As I said, in due time. First, you submit to the mapping of the heart. Only then can we know what is to be done with you. This is the House of Grief. We strive to help those whose hearts have grown heavy, be it with anger, melancholy, grief, or treachery. Submit to the mapping and reveal what lurks in your heart. If you consent, follow me. If you do not, leave.
I wasn't expecting it, but I'm glad to have some company on this journey.
You seek to be unburdened, yes? The mapping of the heart can reveal the way. Yet, there is another here whose need is great.
That voice. Allow me. I think I'm supposed to do this.
Do you know why you are here?
There is something I lost. No. Had taken from me. My family. My life. I want it all back.
Loss is a gift, girl. Do you still not understand that? Now give me the true answer. What is your purpose in being here?
The artifact. I was sent to retrieve it. At any cost.
And who tasked you with this mission?
The Mother Superior. Of It's you.
Give me the honor of my name. In full.
I can't. My memories...
I know what's in that head of yours better than you do, girl. My name.
Mother Superior... Viconia DeVere.
You still have the wits to recognize your betters. Good. Now descend. You have much to answer for.
An astral projection. Clever girl. She's not taking any chances. We shouldn't either.
Cunning disguise can serve a warrior as the Dark Lady better than any armor. That's what they always told us. I think this was my favorite part. Putting these on, pretending to be someone else. I suppose that's been my whole life. I remember this place now. A whole stolen childhood spent in these halls. The Mother Superior must be close. Soon this will all be over.
They already heard how you disgraced yourself before Lady Shah. How she marked you as the enemy. But it is quite another thing for them to see it for themselves. I am very glad you decided to return. A cautionary tale such as yours will be studied by Lady Shah's initiates for years to come. But perhaps I can make a case for some small measure of mercy. Give me the artifact, and I can at least make this quick.
Enough! I don't answer to you. Not anymore. I'm here for my family. That's right. I know what you did. And it's not going to be quick.
This is your family. And now you have turned your back on it. The artifact was your last chance to prove yourself. And you squandered it. Whispers reached my ears from all corners. Potential rivals of Lady Shah, all vying for the same prize. A new god, amassing the disaffected, the outcasts. Those who should turn to us. This absolute is but an upstart, disturbing the natural order and threatening to impede the glorious return of Lady Shah's pure, endless darkness. I had to act. I had to strangle that foul conspiracy while it was still in the cradle. We learned all we could. The artifact was the one thing the absolutists feared. The one thing they desperately wanted to keep out of their enemy's grasp. I had to have it. Lady Shah's concerns lie elsewhere, with another. But she is a goddess. She can afford to ignore that which does not threaten her. I must keep her faith alive in mortal hearts. I must defend her ways, lead her children, stop all threats. Even if I must go against her wishes, I will prove myself her most loyal servant.
Shah doesn't care. She was always going to use you and discard you. But now I'm going to deal with you first.
You there! Surrender this one to me now, and you can consider Lady Shah's forces your allies in the battles to come. As you like. Lilala! For Shah! The artifact was your last chance to prove yourself, and you squandered it. Such misplaced camaraderie. How about this? Surrender this one to me, now, and you can leave freely, and consider Lady Shah's forces your allies in the battles to come. The artifact was your last chance to prove yourself. Whispers reached my ears. We learned all we could. The artifact was the one thing the absolutists feared. The one thing they desperately wanted to keep out of their enemy's grasp. I had to have it. To fight so many foes openly could prove unwise. Shah's children are better deployed as daggers in the shadows, not massed upon a battlefield. So let the others fight while we wait. Once they are spent and bloodied from each other, we would slip in and take the prize. Alas, most of those I sent perished. All but one.
I should thank you. If you hadn't sent me on that suicide mission, I'd never have learned the truth.
You there! Surrender this one to me now, and you can consider Lady Shah's forces as you like. Lilala! For Shah!
I have to find my parents. They must be close.
You and I need to speak. You may have evaded the mapping of the heart, but never mind. I can delve into your true intentions right now.
You feel the barest of presences caress your mind. She's reading your thoughts.
Ah, as I thought. Quite an adventure has brought you to this point. Illithids, kidnapping, infection, the Hells, hunted by cultists and Githyanki alike. And, of course, the artifact. Oh, but I think you do. The mapping unearthed much more than your heart form. I saw all your secrets. I felt Shadowheart's presence in your mind, and with it, the artifact. She succeeded in retrieving it, but then it is you who appeared, not her. Where is the artifact? I did not consent to questions. But I suppose you have undergone a great deal to reach this place. And anything I tell you cannot compromise me now. For you will either leave on my terms, or not at all. Whispers reached my ears from all corners. Potential rivals of Lady Shah, all vying for the same prize. A new god, amassing the disaffected, the outcasts. Those who should turn to us. This absolute is but an upstart, disturbing the natural order and threatening to impede the glorious return of Lady Shah's pure, endless darkness. I had to act. I had to strangle that foul conspiracy while it was still in the cradle. We learned all we could. The artifact was the one thing the absolutists feared. The one thing they desperately wanted to keep out of their enemy's grasp. I had to have it. Lady Shah's concerns lie elsewhere, with another. But she is a goddess. She can afford to ignore that which does not threaten her. I must keep her faith alive in mortal hearts. I must defend her ways, lead her children, stop all threats. Even if I must go against her wishes, I will prove myself her most loyal servant.
Viconia trails off, holding your gaze with a dark, hungry look. She has staked everything on acquiring the astral prism.
A bold claim, given your current circumstances. I have not assembled my forces here just to spectate. Humor me with a little negotiation. Perhaps we can find terms that will allow blades to remain sheathed. How about the artifact for your life? And perhaps even my support in the battles yet to come against the Absolute. My interest is defeating the Absolute. It seems you're on that path already. I will not have it said that I am unreasonable. Shadowheart. Surrender her to me. She has much to answer for. She will be re-educated. Lady Shah may still have use for her, under my control. Oh, but I shall. I'll just ask your corpse where she's hiding. Lilala! For Shah!
Shah did not come to Viconia's defense. All who bow to her are disposable pawns. In the end, the mission she sent me on was a lie. Same as everything else she ever told me. She sowed her own downfall in trying to take the prism for herself. Had she never sent me, I'd still bow to Shah, none the wiser. My parents are still captive. I need to free them.
Shadowheart? I wasn't sure if I'd ever lay eyes on you again. It's me, Nocturne. Do you remember?
Remind me?
We trained together. We used to be close. I'm glad to see you're all right.
I don't remember you.
Oh. A pity. Perhaps we can talk some more later? That is, if you're not about to turn on me. It seems you no longer walk in the Dark Lady's shadow.
Shah condemned me. By her decree, you and I are enemies.
Only if you wish us to be. You may not remember, but we shared a lot together once. Good times. Hard times. I will not turn on you, even if it angers Lady Shah.
That's good enough for me. I'm not sure what I expected coming back to this place. Certainly not a friend. There must be all sorts you can tell me. Things I can't even remember.
There are, but with the Mother Superior gone, I don't know if I can stay here to reminisce. Perhaps there's another enclave out there for me.
You don't need Shah.
You don't, perhaps. Not everyone is as brave. I'll leave come tomorrow. Come see me before then. I was working as quartermaster. I can sell you some things to aid you. And we can catch up.
Almost pleasant traveling with company. If you ignore all the less pleasant aspects.
Yes?
The Absolute wants the prism. The Githyanki want the prism. Shah wants the prism too. Phew! This thing means an awful lot to a lot of people. Us, more than anyone. Without that thing, we'd have been drooling true souls. Surprised to find I share an aim with Shah herself, but the Absolute has to be stopped. Let Shah have the Lost. Better that than the Netherbrain.
What's next?
I can still scarcely believe it. You've returned, and the Mother Superior is gone. So much can change, so quickly. Well, you had a pet mouse for a while. It was against the rules, of course. You used to hide him under your robes and feed him from your rations. Nibbles. I suggested Bree, but you were having none of it. She caught you with him. Forced you to get rid of him in front of everyone. To make an example. You always loved animals. But you never let yourself get too close after that. I'm sorry. Not the sort of thing you want to hear, I'm sure. Well... You know that little scar on your elbow? I was there when you picked that up. It was years ago when we were initiates. Some of the others were intent on tormenting us until you showed them the error of their ways. I think it was 6 against 2, and most of them were bigger than us to boot, but you saw them off, all of them. There were some bruised lips and black eyes in the mess hall that night. And from then on, they left us alone. Or at least, they bothered us less. A collision between your elbow and the teeth of a girl called Baldur. She came away from it worse than you. She was on the same mission as you. I suppose she won't be coming back. In any case, the Mother Superior soon broke up the fighting, though she didn't punish us. In fact, I saw her smiling. I think she was proud of you. Just small things, silly things. The sort you'd scarcely recall even if your memories were left intact. You had a little hiding place that you went to when you needed to get away. You brought me there sometimes. We'd talk, play, read, do each other's hair. Hidden at the back of the storage area. Luckily enough, as quartermaster, I was able to keep it hidden back there. It should be, well, if not how you remember it, exactly as you left it. The plait and fringe? Yes, on your instructions, of course. You were very intent on a bold look, I think you said. My hands were cramped by the time I finished, but you were very pleased. I like the new look as well, though. You always did like a dramatic touch. Be sure to get everything you need. Come tomorrow, I'll be gone. At least we can talk freely, now that she is gone. What can I do for you? Just small thing you had. At least we can talk freely, now that she is gone. What can I do for you? Remains to be seen. This place is all I've ever known. In time, perhaps I'll venture out there, see what I've been missing. But for now, old habits die hard.
Please don't look at me. 40 years of my life documented like I was some sort of specimen. Jewels. Why do I remember these of all things? A gift from Solda Nessela, Mother Superior said. Curious. I could never quite tell if she was proud of them or not. I see my parents. What's been done to them?
It can't be. Another vile trick.
No. There is no trick. It's her. Jennifer. Jan. Our little girl.
Moon Maiden's grace. It is you.
I'm here to get you out of here. They're all gone. It's over.
It is not over.
see, it matters not if you raise this place. If you slay every one of your brothers and sisters. That was never where my power resided. Every time you try to step away from me, every time you try to reach for Selûne, my hold on you bites deeper. If you had learned, if you had obeyed, there would be no pain. But you struggle on. You will make things worse for yourself. And for them. I am neither. I am nothing. I am the empty room. The dreamless sleep. The shadow's shadow. There was no pain before my sister set the sun aflame. Now you exist to suffer, until you find your way back to my embrace.
Enough! I'm taking my parents away from here. I'm taking them away from you!
You cannot. We are still bound to you. You cannot both free us and free yourself from her curse. The Moon Maiden needs you more than she needs us. You are the future. You must return to the fold. We are the past. And our duty is almost done.
Eloquently put. His mind stood up well to his time here. The same cannot be said for your mother. Such brief, fragile lives humans lead. This is my final lesson. I leave you now to dwell on your mistakes and make your choice.
Shah's parting words make your flesh crawl. There is no lesson to be learned here, only a family's torment, a spiteful goddess's whims, and an unspeakable choice to be made.
She's gone. I don't understand.
Shah will never admit defeat. Not until she has stolen one last thing from you. We cannot allow your future to be her last prize. Not after all your mother and I have endured. To see you again. Your companion understands, I think. Help her, please. Help her see what must be done.
I'm sorry. I didn't know any of this was happening until it was much too late. I came to try to put things right.
And you did. You found us. All these years, that dream kept us going. That you would break free. No matter what they made you do to us, we knew you were still in there.
I knew the Dark Woods wouldn't frighten you. You were always such a brave girl.
She was. And still is. You've saved us. Now save yourself. You'll be out of Shah's reach, and we'll be at peace.
But I only just found you again after all this time. I can't lose you again.
We'll still be with you. By the Moon Maiden's grace, we'll never be far. Please, Jennifer.
Is this truly what you want?
It is what we need. All of us. You were meant to be a guiding light for Selûne's faithful, but they robbed you from us. Now that can be righted. and we can rest.
Help us, Jen. I can let go. Now I've seen your face again.
Goodbye.
Not goodbye. Not even close.
Moon motes. They bring Seluna's light to dark places and offer guidance to those in need. My parents are watching over me. Let's leave this place. There's nothing more for me here. Shadowheart, still. I can't run away from who I was all this time. Besides, there's something fitting to it. Can't cast a shadow without sunlight. My parents. I saw them. Spoke to them. And let them go. It's more than I can take in just now. Give me a night to try and get my head together.
A huge polished disc looms before you. A mirror, but one that offers no reflection. All you see is a void of endless darkness.
This feels familiar to me somehow. I'm sure I've stood before this mirror before. Many times, perhaps.
Nothing comes to you. The mirror remains a mystery.
A Githyanki, head removed. They tortured her for information, then made sure the corpse couldn't help anyone else.
My old I don't remember it, but it's comforting to be here. That little hideaway that we found in the cloister, it almost felt like I'd found a piece of my childhood. A childhood I don't truly remember. But remember it or not, I felt right at home there. Surrounded by books and night orchids. Don't tempt me. Might find it hard to leave. Well, can you imagine what it would have been like growing up in that place? Endless training, no privacy, facing scorn wherever I looked. I can very easily imagine I needed somewhere to escape to, if I was to survive. Nocturne and I must have come here a lot. We probably had plenty we wanted to hide from. Anyway, I think that little hideaway helped shape who I am, as much as any sermon or training did. Funny, the things that influence you. Most are lost forever. Some may creep back into my mind if I encounter anything that helps clear the fog. Then there's what Shah did restore to me. Memories of pain, suffering. Both my own and what I inflicted. It's overwhelming. Like a lifetime's worth of nightmares unleashed all at once upon waking. I can barely untangle one moment from another, not that I even want to. I just know that my heart sinks if I let my thoughts wander to them. Of course. From the first time I laid eyes on you right until now. That's all safe. I wouldn't surrender even a moment of it. Perhaps. But in the meanwhile, I'll just have to find a way to live with them. Shah seeks to break people. To fill their lives with despair so that they will turn to her for relief. Perhaps she thought this would lead me back to her in time. But it won't. I fought too hard to win my freedom. I will not give it up again, no matter how much it hurts.
I'm so glad Shadowheart's ordeal is over. It'll be a long time before she'll come to terms with all this, but at least now, she can start. Free of Shah.
Shadowheart's parents are at peace. And so she, it seems.
All's well, I hope. Aside from the obvious.
Ever will Shar try to twist bonds of love into chains of service. Shadowheart did not let her. I cannot presume to know her parents, or what they suffered. But I know that they were proud, in the end.
A cruel task fell to Shadowheart. But she did as her parents wished. She has my eternal respect. And I hope she soon finds peace.
Shadowheart's memories will be a heavy load for her to carry. But her suffering is over, and so is her parents'. I hope she finds comfort in that.
It is no small thing to slay one's life-bringers. Shadowheart did what was right, not what was easy.
What Shadowheart did for her parents was a profound act of love. Her courage is... well, it's quite something to behold.
Doesn't look like anyone's been here in a while. Perhaps people lost faith. Or forgot about it. I wanted to come here. To see if I felt anything that I hadn't done before. Now that I know what I know. Now that I know who I am. Loss. Actual loss, not Shah's oblivion. I had my family. For too short a moment. Now they're gone. By my hand. I remember. But they can't comfort me. They can't give me advice. They can't tell me what I was like as a little girl. It's been a long time since I've shed a tear. I don't even know how long. We carry on. It's all we can do. I'll follow in a while. I think I want to stay here a little longer, firstly. This place isn't familiar, but it's peaceful. Shadowheart. She's as much a part of who I am as Jennifer. Can't just forget her. It's not what I do anymore. Besides, Shadowheart still suits me. Even better than before, perhaps. You can't cast a shadow without some light.